Brittany, the community has been laying flowers here outside of Pennings where Peggy Anderson used to work for a long time now. They're doing that to honor her memory right now. I spoke with a member of her family today who says she was a staple throughout the Rockford community and was someone who tirelessly worked to serve those in need.
He's the type of person that puts her work and her love of others before herself. And she is not one of those people, has never been one of those people who wanted any kind of recognition.
Peggy Anderson, a loved one lost too soon, shot at Pennings Butcher Shop where she worked. Her family and fellow employees are now speaking out saying she was truly an amazing woman.
We want people to know who she was and what this means to us and what this devastation means to the community. She had years of her life yet to live. She was very physically fit. She was an incredible mother, an incredible grandmother.
I am honored just to say that I was able to have her be a part of our lives for so long. She was a person who was a people pleaser, tried to make everyone happy. You never knew if she was upset. She was very close to God, and she trusted Him to help to walk her through life every single day.
Almost a week later, over $24,000 has been raised to assist the family with funeral expenses.
The outpouring of support that we've seen from Rockfordians has been just unbelievable. Peggy has been so ingrained in the Rockford community and serving the Rockford community herself for so many years as a server, a waitstaff server, and then in Pennings as kind of their head dessert pastry chef.
A suspect has now been identified as 40-year-old William Jones. As Rockford police continue their search, the family is demanding justice and demanding it now.
She's the type of person that actually would have given him her car, her purse. She would have walked upstairs if he needed it and would have cooked him a dinner if he needed it. That's the kind of person that Peggy is and was. I know where she's going, so I know that she still is. So that's really hard for all of us to wrap our, why did he have to shoot her? He didn't have to shoot her. She would have given him everything.
A great woman and servant of the Rockford community. A memorial service for Peggy Anderson will be headed to the Cathedral of St. Peter on Thursday at 9 a.m. Following that service, there will be a celebration of Mass at 10 p.m. that night. In Rockford, Destin Howard, 13 WREX.
All right, thank you, Destin. And in this case, we learned the man who police think is responsible for pulling the trigger and killing Anderson. As Destin just said, take a look, another look at your screen here. This is who police are searching for, 40-year-old William Jones. He is wanted by police following the murder of Peggy Anderson. Here's one more look at Jones from a security camera. If you know where William Jones might be, you are encouraged to call Rockford Police, or you can send an anonymous tip. Just text the word RPD tip to 847-411. On to our weather now. Cloudy skies, a little bit of wind made for a chilly afternoon at Clem Arboretum, but it wasn't as cold as it normally is at this time of year. Still saw a few people out there walking along the path at Clem Arboretum.
Yeah, beautiful sight out there, but we could see a little more winter weather entering the area tomorrow night. Your 13 Weather Authority Chief Meteorologist Alex Kirshner is tracking it all for us. Alex.
Good evening. Yeah, any kind of showers hold off until we get to about 6 o'clock or so tomorrow. And it may be a variety of rain, sleet, and snow depending on where you live. That ratio may change a little bit as we could see more rain to the south and then more snow the closer you get to the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. So it all kind of depends on where you live as to what you might see. Either way, be ready for some slush on the roads, even some spots getting a couple inches of slush. That'll definitely slow you down, but thankfully not looking at major impacts here when it comes to travel conditions as that wintry mix arrives. And you still have plenty of time to run errands. You can see through early tomorrow afternoon we have dry weather. Then the rain and slowly kick in as we go into tomorrow evening. I'll track just when that shower activity arrives and what you can expect depending on your location. That's ahead in the forecast. In the meantime, we're going to hold on to quieter spring-like weather for just a little bit longer.
All right, thank you, Alex. New tonight, a former Illinois Attorney General candidate has filed a lawsuit against the Illinois assault weapons ban. That lawsuit was filed by Thomas DeVore of Effingham. DeVore ran for Attorney General this last election cycle, but lost to Kwame Raoul. In a statement on DeVore's law firm's website, it says they are partnering up with several groups to have this issue addressed by the courts.
Wisconsin's governor and Democrats are pushing for an advisory referendum to be put on the ballot this spring, asking voters if the state should repeal an 1849 criminal abortion ban. That 1849 Wisconsin law says it is a felony to provide an abortion, which is punishable by up to 6 years in prison. The only exception is for instances where the mother's life is at risk. Mothers themselves could not be prosecuted under the law. The ban went into effect when Roe v. Wade was overturned last June.
So today I'm proud to join legislative Democrats in announcing we will be introducing a joint resolution to put an advisory referendum on the ballot this April to ensure the people of Wisconsin have the opportunity to weigh in to whether Wisconsin should overturn the 1800-era criminal abortion ban and restore protections under Roe.
Evers says that this proposition gives the voters an opportunity to voice their opinions and vote directly on issues during the spring election. And coming up next tonight on 13 News at 6, a life-saving rescue, how one man was able to save 5 dogs from a burning home.
And wintry weather may be just around the corner. I'll track a mix of rain, snow, and sleet. That's later in the forecast.
And for local news, weather, and sports on your schedule, make sure you download the 13 News app for your streaming device. We're live on Apple TV, Amazon's Fire TV, and Roku media players. The best part, it is free. Just search 13 WREX.
Happening this week, RPS 205 is teaming up with an Illinois nonprofit to help find diverse men interested in working in education. That program is Grow Your Own Teachers, the Diverse Male Teacher Initiative, which provides scholarships, tuition assistance, and mentorship to help find men of color going into the teaching field. RPS is holding 2 informationals this week. To learn more about it, this Thursday, January 19th from 11 a.m. to noon or 4:30 to 5:30 p.m.
This 13 WREX stock report was brought to you by Seiler Financial.
A Wisconsin man is being viewed as a hero after running into a house fire to save his dogs. Rachel Perry shares that story.
Home alone as smoke and flames filled his house, Sean Russell had something else on his mind.
I would go to the end of the world for him.
His 5 dogs all trapped inside.
I run down and I see my whole chair, the blankets around the chair, and flames going up and over the couch. And the dogs were in the far corner, like, wondering what to do.
So one by one, he says he began carrying them to safety.
I started going to the dogs. I started running out, and I started taking them to our broken down car we have in the driveway.
Unable to reach 2 of the dogs and struggling to catch his breath, Russell tells me he came to the heart-wrenching realization that it wasn't safe to go back in.
All my oxygen just like right out of me, and felt I knew I had to make that decision. It flipping sucked because I did not like seeing my dog go there, but I would have been staying in there myself.
Russell says he was taken to the hospital. Meanwhile, first responders found the 2 dogs still trapped inside and barely breathing. They were rushed to a vet 2 hours away in Waukesha.
They're all making a fast recovery.
While the dogs and the rest of his family are safe, Russell says they lost everything inside the home, and with 4 kids, it hasn't been easy.
It's hard to so ask for help, but like if you guys can just put smiles on my kids' faces and just brighten up their days, that'd make me happy.
As we look forward to the next 48 hours, we're looking at a wintry mix just around the corner. Looks like we'll avoid the bulk of the snowfall. The next weather system seemingly tracking into southwest Wisconsin through central Wisconsin, so that's why winter storm watches are in effect for this end of the Midwest. We're right on the edge, so right now it's looking likely that we'll get a wintry mix. It's rain, snow, and sleet with varying amounts across northern Illinois and far southern Wisconsin. That said, if this takes more of a southwest track, or southeast track I should say, that could push a little more snow towards us, but right now it looks like we avoid the bulk of everything. And leading up to that point, it's cloudy and dry tonight. We stay above freezing through those evening hours. Later tonight, right at freezing, which is closer to our usual daytime high temperature for this time of year. So that mild weather keeps rolling. And then we have to keep an eye out for wintry weather making a return going into tomorrow evening. Minor amounts overall, but there may be just enough slush to cause some slick spots on the roads. So you've got plenty of time still to get some errands and things done before all of that moves in. Tomorrow afternoon, that's when we do see some rainy conditions, which causes wet roads, and then it gets slushy towards the end of the evening. So really the bulk of the day staying quiet as we wait for those showers to arrive. Here is future track, and that does have rain to start, but by about 6 o'clock, that's when the snow and sleet starts to mix in. And you can see how we've got varying amounts of precipitation. You're near I-88, DeKalb, Dixon, and South. You're probably seeing mainly rain. Everywhere else, it's a wintry mix. You get close to Freeport and Northwest, though, it's mainly sleet and snow. This is the spot that could pick up a couple minor amounts of snowfall. And then we go into Thursday with on and off shower conditions. You can see a little rain-snow mix still possible going into Thursday afternoon. So in general, may get some minor slushy snow accumulations near Freeport. You work your way southeast of Freeport. It's a wintry mix with rain and some slush. And then closer to I-88 and south, it's mostly rain shower activity. Temperatures cooling off after all of this. We're near freezing over the weekend, but the weather looks to be fairly dry. We still have just a slight chance for snow this weekend, so keep a close eye on that. Right now, though, that is trending downward, where we may avoid that system next week starting out quiet. In your most accurate 10-day forecast, we do see colder conditions on the horizon, maybe back down into the 20s by the end of next week, which is a lot closer to average for this time of year, so that's really kind of where we should be for January.
All right, thank you, Alex. In sports, the Chicago Bears' new president and CEO, Kevin Warren, was introduced today. We'll hear what he has planned in his new position coming up next in sports.
Bears introduced their new president and CEO, Kevin Warren, today at Hallis Hall. Warren goes from Big Ten commissioner to leading an NFL franchise that will have a lot of big decisions on the horizon. The Bears are looking to build a new stadium out in Arlington Heights after spending 50 years at Soldier Field. The team is coming off one of the franchise's worst seasons that landed them the #1 overall pick. While there's still a lot to be done, the new man in charge has big plans for the organization.
I came here to win championships, to win the NFC North, to win the NFC, to win the Super Bowl, to help shepherd and lead a stadium development project, to embrace our alumni, to embrace our history and tradition, and to embrace the absolutely incredible Chicago Bear fans.
Warren is slated to start the job this April. The senior girls running class at Winnebago celebrated another one of their great athletes signing to the next level today. Marissa Rogensack will be running cross country and track at U of I Springfield, the college level, next year. Rogensack is part of a great senior girls runners class, as a lot of athletes that will continue their careers after the high school level. She's had great relationships with a lot of them and says her next team feels no different.
When she went on a vacation, how much work. She's the same person every single day.
I've really enjoyed these last 4 years with my coaches coming to the majority of my meets just to support me.
Last high school season of track. That's going to do it for sports. We'll be back to wrap things up right after the break.
In positive local news tonight, some middle school kids in Rockford are getting some fresh new shoes this week thanks to a nonprofit organization. Touching Souls CEO Marquez Beeks and his team are giving out close to 200 pairs of shoes to Rockford middle school students. He started out with RISA today, giving out 30 pairs of shoes to kids that the faculty helped choose. Beeks grew up in Rockford and went to West Middle School, and when he gives back to his community, it can really make the day for these kids.
I feel happy and surprised. It means a lot to me, basically. It means a lot.
And all it takes is one person to show them some compassion, show them some love, show them some support, and that's why I come in at, so that's what I usually tell them.
Well, after starting at RISA, Beeks will move to Kennedy and West over the next couple of days. He's still trying to get days and times scheduled with those other middle schools.
And conditions turn a little wintry going into tomorrow evening. A mix of rain, snow, and sleet likely that could result in some slushy roads. Not looking at major amounts here, but enough to slow you down at times. Definitely have to take it a little slower as we go into tomorrow evening and Thursday morning. Overall, we're looking at plenty of time to run errands throughout the course of the early half of the day, even the afternoon starting out dry. Late in the evening, though, that's when we do see that slushy weather start to move on in.
All right, still have some time to prepare. We'll see you back here tonight for 13 News at 10.